esoteric teaching, and it is up to you to apply it properly and get the benefit. You will not find this truthful, straightforward, and pure approach in any other spiritual teaching. Vishama matir nayatra nrinam, tvamaham itimama taveti chayad anyatra, vishama dhiya rachito yaha, sahya vishuddha kshayishnur adharma bahulaha. Being full of contradictions, all forms of religion but the esoteric teaching work under conceptions of fruitive results and distinctions of you and I, and yours and mine. The followers of the esoteric teaching have no such consciousness. They are all Krishna conscious, thinking that I am Krishna's and Krishna is mine. There are other low-class religious systems which are contemplated for the killing of enemies or the gain of wealth or mystic power. But such religious systems, being full of passion and envy, are impure and temporary. Because they are full of envy, they are full of irreligion. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 6:16-42. The esoteric teaching has no contradictions. Conceptions of your religion and my religion are completely absent from it. Ultimately, the esoteric teaching means following the orders given by the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan, as stated in Bhagavad-gītā. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekang sharanang braja ahang tvang sarva papebhyo mokshayashyami mashuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Bhagavad-gītā 18:66. God is one, and God is for everyone. Therefore, everyone must surrender to God. That is the pure conception of religion. Whatever God orders constitutes religion. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Real religious principles are enacted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 6:3-19. In the esoteric teaching, there is no question of what you believe or what I believe. Everyone must simply accept the orders of the Supreme Lord and carry them out. Real religion means anukulyena krishnanushilanam, favorable cultivation of service in relationship to Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 19, 167. Whatever Krishna says, whatever God says, should be directly carried out. That is dharma, religion. And you are personally responsible for carrying out Krishna's instructions. No one else can do your duty for you. Therefore, the esoteric teaching is not just another concocted sectarian belief, for it entails deep scriptural research to understand how everything is connected with Krishna. Ishavasyam idam sarvam, Sri Ishopanishad Mantra 1. According to the Vedic injunctions, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Brahman, the Supreme, is present in everything. The esoteric teaching awakens us to this omnipresence of the Supreme. The esoteric teaching does not consider the world to be false, but our misconception of the world is an illusion because, due to our materialistic ontology and contaminated material senses, we see the world as separate from Krishna. But because everything emanates from the Supreme, nothing can be false. Everything has some use in the service of the Supreme. For example, I am writing this on a computer, and later on I will record the podcast and publish it on another computer, and thus the computer can be connected to the Supreme Brahman as his energy. Since we are using this computer in the service of the Lord, it is Brahman, or spiritual. That is the real meaning of Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Everything is Brahman because everything can be used for the service of the Supreme Lord. Nothing is mithya, false. Everything is factual. But if we see it as separate from Krishna or as intended for our enjoyment, then we are in illusion. In such illusioned material consciousness, we are easily exploited by those who offer Shaktipat or some other phony mystic miracle that promises instant enlightenment on the cheap. A more subtle pitch is offered by those who entice us to join some all-encompassing religious organization that entangles us economically and socially in a web of conditional relationships contingent upon doing their will. Neither of these is a real esoteric school. Near the end of Bhagavad-gītā, Krishna tells Arjuna, Iti te jnanam akyatam, guhyad guhyataram maya, vim srijad asheshena, yatech chasi tatakuru. Thus I have explained to you the most confidential of all knowledge. Deliberate on this fully, and then do what you wish to do. Bhagavad-gītā 1863. Krishna does not force him, but trusts his friend and disciple Arjuna to use his intelligence to think over what he has said and do the right thing. Once you understand these important ideas, you also will automatically do the right thing. Therefore, the mood of the esoteric teaching is not to force anyone to do or believe anything, but to work with quiet conviction to present and exemplify not our own ideas, but the timeless esoteric teaching of the Vedas for the eternal benefit of all. So I felt very bad when I heard that my friend had been cheated, exploited by some rascal posing as a representative of this esoteric teaching. Makes me want to punch the guy in the nose, actually, but he's a little bit too far away for me to do that. But what I can do is that I can give you the truth, and you can use the truth to chart your own course, free from the influence of people who would exploit you. But to do that, of course, you have to take responsibility for your own spiritual life. And this is the tough part. People don't want to take responsibility. We're conditioned to turn the important choices in our lives over to the experts. So if you want some spiritual life, you go to some spiritual master or advisor who will tell you to do this and to do that. And of course, they'll extract a healthy fee. Well, we don't work that way. We direct you to the original source material of the esoteric teaching, the Bhagavad-gītā as it is, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Puranas, the Upanishads, and so on, Vedanta. And we allow you to study them in your own time, and we're available, of course, to answer questions and to direct your studies. But it's up to you to apply the information. We are not going to offer you an ashram or a community. I mean, of course, you can come down to Mississippi and join New Taliban if you like. No objection to that. You won't be cheated. But if you go to some other community or some other teacher, I can't guarantee that because I have no control over what goes on. So similarly, every time you give up control over your life, you're just asking to be exploited. Every time you give up responsibility to some expert or some committee or something like that, then you're asking to be exploited, to be cheated. Well, we don't say that. We say, take responsibility, make your own spiritual community, study this knowledge, apply it, and attain your perfect spiritual body. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of My Perfect Body. This is David Hughes, your host, reminding you to visit us on the web at esotericteaching.org, where you can purchase the complete Esoteric Teaching Introductory Seminar DVD and many CDs of transcendental music and mantras.